Hi, welcome to Magpie Moonchild. My name is Kayleigh, and this is a quick deck comparison between the original Moonchild Tarot and the new Shadow edition. So the deck, the image itself is primarily the same image, it's just been recolored for each of them. So we have the same gilding, we have the same pattern texture. Slight difference with the extra couple of stars down the bottom, for some reason being added on that one. But other than that, it is primarily the same design, just this has a dark texture to it, or colorway to it. Actually, that is an extra diamond on there. Again, the same on the sides. They are the same on either end as well, apart from, again, that diamond of gilding. Both in a 2-part box, both the same size. Similar back. I mean, obviously it's been reconfigured because it's a recolor, a redesign. So when you open up the box itself, they're both 2-part boxes. It has obviously this image here, the Egyptian image on this one, and this one has bloom in light, bloom in shadow with some blooming flowers. We have 2 different books. The book design is different, and yet very similar books. I'm not going to go into the booklets too far, but they are very similar in style, layout, what's contents, what's in that. I'm then going to take out the decks individually, and we will have a look and compare and contrast them in a moment. So the inside of the traditional Moonchild is You Are the Dance of Light and Shadow, and we have Seek the Unseen in the Shadow edition. Now what I'm going to do is pull each card from each deck, and I'll just show you these decks while we are here. So we have this matte gold gilding on the Moonchild, and we have this gorgeous purple colour in the purple on the Shadow edition. It has a very similar, so the design itself, the gilding, the gold design is the same. The purple has this plum colour. It has this satiny kind of texture to the back, whereas this is plain white on the Moonchild. Very similar thickness cardstock, different feel cardstock though. I didn't realise until I went to sort this one into order, I've sorted them both into order so we can compare the decks side by side, that this is actually smooth. I thought it was rose petal, and it's not, it's actually smooth, whereas this has that rose petal texture to it. So there are slightly different cardstocks in that sense. So let's have a look at the Moonchild decks side by side, image by image, to see how it's changed and what the images are. So with the fall, it's slightly smokier on the Shadow edition. For reference, this is the traditional Moonchild in the white, and we have the Shadow edition in the plum on this side. And it has obviously the gold. It's more transparent as well. There is texture of the image below, whereas this is a solid naming on the bottom of the full card. And as you can see, they are the mirror image of each other. So, and it's more pinky, less blue. The Magician has changed entirely. For this deck. This is a more masculine, rocky, with the elements very clearly there. This is a more female, feminine centric, floral, the snake with the wisdom. There's more elements of other types of magic within the Magician for either deck. So they have changed completely between each other. Colorways, everything. The High Priestess has also changed completely. So we have 2 very different images. So we have the traditional looking image here, and we have a more veil dipping oracle kind of image to the High Priestess here. The Empress has also changed completely to an extent. There are still florals around. We still have the black women in the image. Absolutely, well, we have 3 on that one. We have 1 on this one. We both have this circular imagery behind the head though, behind the head of the central woman involved. Less greenery on this one, but both beautiful, equally beautiful images. The Emperor has also changed completely. This one feeling very Stark family, Game of Thrones kind of meets Robin Hood traditional practice. Kind of, how would I put it? It is like Robin Hood or Arthur, King Arthur, like in amongst the woods kind of feel to that one, whereas this one's more zen and meditative and within nature itself, in a more cohesive way rather than standing against nature. He's sitting and meditating with nature. So two very different images. The Hierophant, very similar, ever so slight colour changes, so more of a pinky hue with this one than the bright blue, but the same image pretty much for both of them. The Lovers, again, similar image, slight recolouring, but primarily the same image. And why mess with perfection? The Chariot, one of my favourite cards in this deck, same image, just recoloured. And I prefer the original because it makes the chariot rider pop more, but I understand it has this subtle smoky hue to the shadow aspect. Strength has changed. Similar setup with the lion and the lady and the woman. Similar with like observing her hands and everything. This feels like a daylight one. This feels like a nighttime one rather than completely starkly different. There's leaves on the shadow, whereas there's blooms on the strength of the Moonchild. So beautiful images, equally beautiful images, very powerful. The Hermit is very different to each other. It actually has like an iridescence. It feels very much in the theme of the Ocean Dreams oracle. And this Hermit, this feels more like it's going into a cave, like out of a cave or returning from a cave or whatever. This feels more like I've gone for a wander in the desert to see what is and what will be. So two very different energies of the Hermit about getting out and away and taking yourself off to a place of solitude, but both beautiful aspects of that. Wheel of Fortune, we have a recolor, and both are equally as beautiful as each other in the recolors, in my opinion. Justice, again, same image, just a recolor. There's almost a softening, a more sepia tone to the image than the original. Hanged Man, again, same image, recolored, has a bit of texture behind the what was the word I'm looking for? I want to say filter, but that's not really what I mean. Collage. There's a tone, an image, almost like an agate slice, or even that satiny fabric, raw silk kind of texture to it. But again, the recolor. Same with the Death card. There's a recolor. I think I actually prefer the sharpness of the Death card in the original, but there's something ethereal about what's going on with the skull and her almost dancing with death, more so in amongst and within death than on the original. Temperance has changed. Again, it has a more of the ocean dreams kind of feel to it. But I mean, Danielle's work has evolved since she did Moonchild. I don't know which one I prefer. I think I prefer the original just because it has that balance aspect. But I do really like this. The ease of path. It's like a lack of resistance and a clear and following a pathway, a doorway, moving through the threshold with balance and poise. So there's grace within it. So now there's been a renaming as much as a re-imaging on the Devil. I think I said it was Death in the last one, and for that I'm really sorry on the unboxing video. But the Dark Veil and the Devil, and I do feel that I prefer the Dark Veil for this energy of this card. This has traditional, the more traditional religious aspects and the conjuring of what a devil is within the religious kind of imagery and Middle Age kind of feel to it. Whereas the Dark Veil just implies that there's shadows and it's piercing beyond what the illusion is, and it's beautiful. It has a different feel completely. Both are valid, however. We have the Tower, which is the same image with a recolor, retone. And actually the sea is higher on the shadow aspect. She's changed the sea, how far the sea comes up the tower. It almost submerges the rock, whereas at this one it's like low tide and high tide, but either way it's happening. We have the star card, again, a recolor. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. The moon is again a recolor. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The sun now has a face in the sun. So we now have a Teletubby baby sun. No, I'm joking. I love this image of the sun. But every time I see a face in the sun, I just think of the Teletubbies. I can't help it. But yes, a recolor. It's almost like nostalgic as much as it is. That's more like in the moment. This is reflecting on it. It's beautiful. Judgment, very different image. Very different image. This always felt like a test, a life lesson finish, like moving through a threshold. This feels more like a reflective practice with the Judgment card. You know, the proof is in the pudding. Everything is being apparent. We're seeing. It's beautiful. The universe has also changed. Similar feel, but the universe is almost within the cloak rather than her looking out at the universe. So realizing the universe within her as much as it's without her as well. But I do like the two. I like the two. They each have their energies. Divine Wisdom, we have flipped the script and recolored. We have done the mirror image and recolored, much like the Fool card. The Moonchild has changed completely. Completely. This Moonchild is delving into the waters that the moon helps us navigate and has power over. Absolutely beautiful. Both valid. This feels very much like this is a reflection of childhood, of when we had wonder, and this feels like the maturity of moving through and witnessing and being in our emotions. So I really like the two. Shadow work, I love these two. There's a real, with the recolors and the restyles in the shadow, there is a real hint of that Ocean Dreams period coming through. And I love it because, again, shadow work is going in and finding the light in the dark, but also it's the watery emotional aspect as well. And this shadow work, again, it's quite youthful. It's almost like a maturity of the work. So it's like, this is beginner shadow work. This is really delving into it and getting to it. And almost there's books here. It's almost like the Akashic library and everything. It's like there's a deeper, whereas this is the deserts and illumination of self. This is your bigger path, bigger within the universe, within the past lives kind of shadow work to it. It's beautiful. Ace of Wands, we have a recolor. The Two of Wands, complete change, and I actually really like it. Because this feels exploratory. This is absolutely assessing the traditional style, but this has an energy of, I'm initiating my path and I'm prepared to walk on that path. There's a watery aspect to this as well, as much as there is in the first one, but almost feels like this is a milestone. This is the beginning of a journey with this one. I'm going to move through that. The Three of Wands has also been changed. I do like that there's that agate to the sun, the moon on the original, and then there's the same kind of tones and stalactites within, and mites within the area of this Three of Wands. Four of Wands has also changed. It's more of a being and reflecting kind of time. Look where I am, look where I'm going to. I'm reflecting on that. Whereas this kind of involves another person. And shadow work is predominantly a solo activity. Five of Wands, change again. Still the veiling going on. Very different energies. We have the Six of Wands, which has again changed. We still have the serpent energy, the two serpents, but this has that third eye aspect to it. We have the Seven of Wands, which the image has changed again. Completely. The Eight of Wands has also changed almost completely. We have the Nine of Wands, which has changed completely, but still has this contemplative energy. We have the Ten of Wands, which has changed completely again. Page of Wands has changed completely. It's like the Wands got a full upgrade. The Knight of Wands has also changed. Queen of Wands has been flipped and recolored, as has the King of Wands. Ace of Swords is recolored, but very, very similar. Has more of a hazy veil smoke to it. Two of Swords, unchanged, just recolored. Three of Swords, recolored, but beautifully done with that raw silk kind of energy to it. Reminds me of a bridesmaid's dress I had as a kid, that fabric. Four of Swords has changed, but similar. And again, there's like a maturity from that person to that person. It's like there's a grown-up version feel to it. Five of Swords, again, it's almost like I'm looking towards it. Now I'm embracing and embodying it and opening myself up to looking at it. But similar image, but changed. Six of Swords, completely different image, but beautiful. Seven of Swords, I really like both of these. I like that she's merging in with the background, but profound on this one. But I do like the darker tones of this one, of the Shadow Edition. It's beautiful. Eight of Swords, again, recoloring. Nine of Swords, we've flipped and recolored slightly. 10 is very different. The swords are set up in a similar way, but the person's not there and the background's different. It's beautiful. Page of Swords, same, slight recoloring. Sorry. The Knight of Swords, similar. Recolor. Queen of Swords, we have flipped and recolored slightly. I like this one. It always reminds me of Joan of Arc. And the King of Swords, again, flipped and recolored slightly. Ace of Cups is changed ever so slightly. We still have the cup, similar positioning with the flowers and everything, but we have this wisdom and shedding that comes with the snake, and it's a moon to a day. It's a recolor, but beautifully done. Two of Cups has changed. There's almost, because they're naked, there's a complete vulnerability that is there with that one, and I really love it with the washing and immersing themselves in more turbulent waters. They're very similar and yet beautifully different. It's beautiful. The Three of Cups, we have the cauldron and the two cups, so it's almost like where they're blending and mixing. This is obviously more of the friendship aspect, the support around kind of energy, both beautiful. Four of Cups, it hasn't really been altered, just recolored. Five of Cups, different image, similar feel with the figure looking. And although there's four cups on that one and five on that one, so oh no, there's one by the dress. So they both have the cup by the dress. More standing on that one, so it's a more optimistic kind of energy to it. And this is obviously midwinter rather than the warm desert with the sea to Balmain. This is a lot more cold and stark with an extra cup tipped over. Both beautiful. Six of Cups, completely changed beautifully. This is almost moving in through the memories, whereas this is reflecting and sitting and recounting. It's more immersive in the nostalgia with the Six of Cups. Seven of Cups, the same image, except there's like a cracking to it on this one. There's like a cracking feel to the image. She has cracks down it. Really beautiful. Eight of Cups, completely different and so beautiful in their own way. This is more like a getting away. This is like, okay, I'm choosing on an internal level to make this choice. It's beautiful. Nine of Cups, I actually prefer the change, and I didn't think I would because I love this Nine of Cups so much. Much more reflective of self rather than outward wishing, if that makes sense. It's the contentment that's in that rather than looking for more with that one. But I really like it. Ten of Cups, beautiful. The figures not being in it is okay. Actually, I think I prefer it. I do like the moon being in that one, but I really like the reflective water. The ocean waters It's Ocean, isn't it? Ocean Dreams, sorry. Ocean Dreams Oracle deck really is, you can see that that's had an influence going through that water period. Page of Cups is beautiful. There's a delving, that almost feels like a portal. It's beautiful. Knight of Cups, this is probably my favourite image that has been redesigned, this Knight of Cups. It's beautiful, so serene. I actually prefer the new image. The Queen of Cups has been recoloured and flipped, as has the King of Cups. The Ace of Pentacles is very similar. Took the black out of the centre of that, but other than that it's the same. Two of Pentacles has been changed, but I like it. I do like it. Three of Pentacles, there's been slight to the Pentacles themselves, there's been a slight change, but other than that it's the same card. Four of Pentacles, it's the same. I love this because it's almost that I can't speak up, I have to keep it to myself, that energy to this image. I love it. Five of Pentacles, I am loving this. I am loving the Five of Pentacles with the labyrinth and the maze, and because it's like I am out going amongst it on my own, and it is a personal solo journey of isolation. It's beautiful. I do like that pentacle has been used on each of them though, taken over. Really beautiful. Six of Pentacles has also changed as well. Completely. I don't know which one I prefer. Actually, I think I prefer the old one, if you had to push me. But it's beautiful. Seven of Pentacles has also changed completely. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which again has been changed completely. And I can't pick a favourite between them. Nine of Pentacles has been flipped and recoloured ever so slightly, retoned. The Ten of Pentacles is the same. Nope, flipped, sorry, and recoloured. But it's the same image. Page of Pentacles has been changed, and it's almost like, again, a maturation of it. It's like I'm reaching for it, and now it's like, yeah, I know it will come, and it will happen when it's ready to happen. And there's a more serene feel to it. This almost feels like we're forcing it, whereas this feels like an allowance, a curiosity. The Knight of Pentacles, I think this is the only knight that hasn't been changed. I could be wrong, but it's flipped and recoloured. More lights, highlights put in. Those rainbow orby type lights have been put in. Queen of Pentacles, same image and flipped, recoloured. This one, they both have it. This one she's glowing, and then this one she just feels more serene. It's beautiful. And the King is also the same, flipped, slightly retoned and coloured. So that is and the Moonchild covers are different on each of them as well. This one obviously has more of the Egyptian bright imagery. So there you have it, a comparison of the two Moonchild editions. Hopefully this has been helpful for you in some way. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any questions or queries, or if I've used the wrong word like I did in the last one. I meant pick the wrong card. I meant the devil and said death. However, there you go. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Danielle Noel for creating some of the most beautiful decks that are in existence. I'm grateful to be able to have both of them. And they are worth every penny that I've paid for them. So if you get a chance to own a Moonchild tarot deck, I would absolutely recommend it because it's beautiful. And there's nothing else really like it. So they're ethereal, stunning. Anyway, right, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for watching this, if you've watched this epically long comparison video. And hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye for now.